We all know what the 5-door conventional Toyota Yaris looks like and feels like. But what if I told you that we actually have a sports enhanced version and it's called the GR Yaris? And today we are going to see what makes this seemingly normal hatchback look extraordinary and in fact a menacing hot hatch. The GR Yaris is actually the collaborative action of Toyota and its motorsport division, Gazoo Racing, and hence we have this version, which is also, by the way folks, a World Rally Championship King. Let's dive right in and see what exactly makes this a menacing World Rally Championship King, shall we? Today's model in review has been graciously provided by NS Cars KL, and this is a place where you can find all these very rare exotic imports that you do not typically find in the showroom or have limited productions to be released in Malaysia, such as the GR Yaris itself. We have the Civic Type R, we also have the Corolla Sport and vehicles like the Toyota Tank. So, in case you're ever interested to come and view this car or its other exotic beauties, please reach out to the person in charge. The details are in the list below in the description box, and from that being said, let's go right ahead. Starting off with the front of the car, the hood is going on a more of a low slung, just like any other hot hatches. Sadly though, there are no hood scoop, but in lieu of that, you've got a very large grille, a gaping style, and there's actually a couple of good reasons for that. One, the intercooler and the radiator are predominantly larger than usual and they are layered one on top of the other. And secondly, it is to allow more air intake for the engine itself. Another element I want to highlight about the front design is the functional air scoops that's on the bottom part of the bumper. See those little two slats there? They're not just for view, they are actually functional. And to make this car the aggressive car that it is, it's also been designed with a sporty sense of body kit with, of course, that GR badge. Because ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to be driving just any Yaris, you're driving a GR Yaris. So you've got to tell everybody else what exactly you're in. Now, as for the tires that runs on this car, size on these babies are 255/40 rim 18. Yes, 18 inches. They are 10-spoke rims and they are actually BBS sourced. All in black. Of course, the tires that usually come with them will be a Michelin PS4S, but these are not Michelins, they are a different brand entirely. The brakes on this car, I've got to say it's huge. But then again, with a performance car like a GR Yaris, you cannot make do with small ones. These are all-rounder ventilated disc brakes. The size of the rotors are 346 millimeters on the front and 294 millimeters on the rear. They are all running on 4-pot calipers. While the conventional Yaris is known to be a front-wheel drive, the GR Yaris has been enhanced to be an all-wheel drive. The side profile of the car doesn't really look very impressive. It actually, to me, looks a little bit bland. The door, I must say, for one, is huge. It's not your conventional door that cuts off here, it's actually stretching all the way to the back. The roof that you see on this GR Yaris, it is compiling of carbon fiber, guys, but this is not your everyday carbon fiber. Instead, it is the very rare forged carbon fiber, which so far to date I have not seen with any other cars except this GR Yaris. The wing mirrors are finished in black paint and it is integrated with the LED turn signals. Moving downwards a little bit, you're going to notice, of course, yet another GR badge. Come on, it's GR, guys, not just your everyday Yaris. Now, one thing I must mention here, the body kit doesn't actually look like it's an add-on body kit. It doesn't really give that super gruff look. It just looks like it's a part of the car. So I'm a little bit conflicted, guys. What do you think? Does this even look like a body kit to you? As we come to the back of the Yaris, this is where we see that this car actually means business. This is a very much more aggressive look compared to what we had at the front. First thing we're going to notice would be these angry, thuggish looking lights. Anyone who sees this, first impression is, don't mess with me. That's the kind of look you want to give. This car has exactly that. It is purely LED, and as a one quirk on this car, the reverse lamps are not on the lights. They are on the bottom near the diffuser, one single light. So you better make sure you keep an eye out when you see this car reversing. And another key note I want to talk about would be the spoiler themselves. The spoiler is wide. I mean, look at how wide it is, guys. My hand against this, there's two of my hand needed. And it is aligned with the sweeping function of the roof. The spoiler does not jut upwards. It's actually going aligned with the roof. The bonnet itself, as you can see, fully in gloss black to give it that added angry look. The diffuser is equally as huge, and it's got twin exhausts on either ends. And of course, you can't forget the big GR, not in the logo, in writing, to let you know that this is a GR and it has all-wheel drive. Now that we are looking at the inside of the car, the boot space, one thing I must note, it's not exactly as big as you would think it would be. It's only 274 liters, so clearly this is not the car you want if you're looking for boot space. But on the bright side, it does have this instead of a spare tire. You've got the battery and you've got an intercooler system right in here, and the intercooler system can be turned on or off. Let's now take a look at the heart of the Toyota Yaris. What makes it menacing? This engine we see right here, believe it or not guys, it's only a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder engine. It is a direct fuel injection system, double overhead cams, and get this, it has the world's highest power output for an engine of this level, 261 horsepower and 360 Newton meters of torque, which is stupidly crazy. But it's also exhilarating to know, wow, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. And in terms of accelerative power, it only takes 5.5 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. The great power output in this car also enables it to go at very high speeds. However, it is electronically capped at 230 kilometers per hour, already super high for a vehicle of this size. And in terms of fuel efficiency, it only consumes 7.6 liters of petrol for every 100 kilometers. Again, these are just under control settings. You have to take into consideration of live real-time changes. Now that we are inside the Toyota GR Yaris, let's go through some of the conventional safety specifications provided with this car. So of course, you've got 6 airbags, comes as standard. You've got ABS, EBD, stability control, you've got those all. And as an additional touch to the safety specs, you've also got the full lineup of the Toyota Safety Sense. That includes everything that you can think of, which is like lane tracking, lane watching, you name it, they have it on this car. Visually, as I'm sitting from the driver's seat, the first thing I'm going to notice is the design of the dashboard itself. It's a little bit different from the usual Yaris that you see, but it's also got a sense of practicality involved. Why? Take a look at the dashboard. You've got your array of speakers. The dashboard is generally flat, all right? It's got air conditioning vents to go with it, but here are the two things I really like. There are actually 2 little slots here to put your phones or any of your other little trinkets in here without it actually falling off. I think that's a pretty nice touch to go with the dashboard. And also, as we look at the steering area, the meter dashboard is actually not LCD, it's not LED, it's actually just a multi-display LCD style. So it's not exactly touchscreen. It still has, parts of the analog sides. The steering wheel itself, of course, it is leather wrapped. It's a sport steering, 3-spoke with multi-functions on it. And just to let you as the driver know that you're driving a GR, you've got this little GR badge on the steering wheel and one, in fact, on the meter cluster. Moving down to the console, we once again see Toyota's demonstration of practicality. You've got the usual 6-speed manual gearbox. You've also got little knobs here for your little USB slots and also a cigarette lighter slot here. This button you see here, this is actually your mode changer. So you've got 3 modes to this car. You've got the regular mode, you've got the eco mode, and you've got one that's called the track mode. The track mode is the one that gets you into really sporty affairs. Moving down a little bit lower to the center console, you've got little slots here again. You've got your usual cup holders, but here's one thing that I really note. See this little slot here, it says WRC, developed for FIA World Rally Championship. Next, moving over to the player system on the GR Yaris. Compared to regulars, this isn't actually a touchscreen, this is still a little bit of the old school button style. So it's got the screen, yes, it's big, it's functional, but it's all still having little buttons here that you need to press to actually work. You can turn this on and turn this off, and you can scroll it and press buttons. So it could be more practical in a sense, but if you are used to a touchscreen, you might not really appreciate this. The JBL player that's being used on this car is actually a combination of both touchscreen and buttons as well, but I feel that the touchscreen is not exactly very user-friendly, and plus, being that this car is from Japan itself, the interface is all a combination of Japanese and English language, so it's a little bit conflicting, if I may say so. Another key feature I want to talk about, you don't find this in many cars, but you find it in this. That's going to be that frameless window system. You see, there's no frame actually wrapping the window. So this is one thing I like because it looks frameless, yes, but what happens if I close it? Will it break? Will it not? Let's find out. Nope, didn't break. In fact, it is a safety feature because it remains lower. Once you close the window actually goes up a little bit more. Now what happens if we need to open the door? This does. See that? The window actually drops down a little bit just to give it the added space, and then you get to open the door. The seats that we have on this car that I'm currently sitting on right now, this is known as a premium sports seat. So it's kind of like semi-bucket. It really wraps around you. It's made out of a few different materials. You've got your little leather over here, and you've got your Alcantara suede over here. Of course, the red stitching is prevalent to show that this is a sports car. And you've got, of course, the little metal brackets over here. Yeah, that's where you put in your metal racing belts. The seat belts, of course, on this is still the, conventional safe gray color. Nothing red or nothing bright to show that it's a sports Yaris. Being a World Rally Championship based car, headroom and legroom only matches to the front driver and the passenger. Let's not talk about the rear one, guys. The rear seats are basically just plus seats, so I'm not going to go into that. On the front, clearly I have some space, maybe a couple of inches of headroom, still enough. Legroom wise, I'm already seated at my most comfortable. The seat adjusters are purely manual, so makes it a little bit more easier, but it seems like this is the furthest I can go. It does feel a little bit cramped on the door panel side, but here I feel like it's just right. Now, while the front seats and the door cards, they all have luxurious Alcantara feel to it, the back seats, on the other hand, they didn't quite carry over that sportiness effect, because as you can see, it's just leather, just regular black leather seats. I don't think it's maybe just black, could be just gray, however you see it. But the only thing that shows its sportiness is that little red stitching, nothing else. Okay, driving the GR Yaris, and folks, I can tell you all one thing, looks aren't the only thing menacing about this car. It is actually very menacing, guys. The performance is outstanding. That's all I got to say. You see, I'm so speechless. It's outstanding, guys. Now, I'm not going to really talk very much about the NVH because, guys, you're driving a performance car, NVH doesn't really matter. But for those of y'all who are curious, yes, it is quite loud in here because the engine is a high performance engine. The exhaust, they are really loud, and you would expect the noise to be penetrative inside, which is fine. If it's a normal car, I will say no, this one perfectly okay. And also, being a 3-cylinder engine vehicle, you will expect, and this is not just limited to the GR Yaris, any car model with a 3-cylinder is obviously going to have a much louder engine. So engine noise penetration is going to be notably higher as compared to a 4 or a 5-cylinder engine. Comfort-wise, the seats are actually pretty okay. They do hold you in place. Not nearly as body hugging as some of the others you might see, but in a performance car like this, way more than enough actually. Okay, in terms of the general ride and handling for this car, it's zippy, it's revvy, it handles the corner beautifully. You know for a fact you can go high speeds and tackle these corners confidently. You don't have to worry very much about understeering, oversteering, none. It's more than enough. The steering is firm. I am confident, super confident in fact. And, whoa, in general, I'm just quite ecstatic at this point. It's a really, really nice car to drive, guys, if you're into performance and into big boy toys like this. Okay, track mode like this. The launch is amazing. Oh, this is what you call real track launches. If you're ever going in a drag race, or if you're literally going head to head on a track, right? This is the closest feel you will get, and you're on an actual road. Of course, you gotta have one little car blocking in the way. But hey, it's firm. And plus, the best recommended gear shift is actually at 6,000 RPMs. This is where you get peak performance, and you can really hear the engine grunt, growl, everything you can think of the engine is doing. Like now. And the best thing is, the throttle response is incredibly quick. There's no lag. There's really no lag with the response. See? One quick press and it goes. I don't really have to do anything much. And this is basically, when you're in this mode, guys, it's a get out of the way mode. And that's for everyone in front, including the very widely known King Myvi. Out of the way. And so we have come to the end of yet another review, this one involving the Toyota GR Yaris. Now here comes the big question: how much does this car cost, and how much is that going to cost you monthly? Okay, so to get us started, this car costs 315,000 ringgit. Yes, it does seem like a pretty steep price, but this is a performance car, guys. And to know exactly how much it will cost you on average per month, based on a per annum interest rate of 3% over 5 years, you'd be paying an estimated 5,400 ringgit monthly. If this goes down to 7 years, the value also goes down to about 4,000 ringgit monthly. And if you take the conventional and most popular 9-year option, that goes down to 3,300 ringgit monthly. And for the maintenance package, believe it or not, despite this being a performance car, maintenance is surprisingly affordable. The lowest maintenance package starts from around 265 ringgit, and the highest goes up to 728 ringgit. And I kid you not, these numbers, I resourced them privately and directly from Toyota Malaysia themselves. It's available on their website. You are more than welcome to go ahead and check. Now remember, guys, this being a performance car, you are going to have some parts that will cost you significantly higher. Be wary of this when buying a car like this. Finally, we come to the most important and the ending of the video, which is the great rate. Now, of course, I must mention this rate that I'm providing is not going to be based on conventional factors. This is a World Rally Championship King car, so the ratings are a little bit different based on what it has to offer and how it rides, it handles, and the pure pleasure that comes out of driving this car. I will give this a solid A rating, an absolute A. Right, now just as a reminder, guys, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, this car is still available for sale, so if you are interested, please don't forget to hit down to the comment section, in fact to the description link. You're going to see the number of the person in charge for you to contact. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment to this video. As always, I'm your host Greg. It's been a pleasure serving you, and I will see y'all in the next video.